Until very recently, I was a professor in the Applied Math and Statistics department in Johns Hopkins University. In September 2025, I decided to leave my position and become a full-time high jumper. I think it will be fun to make a video to go over why I'm doing this, what are the factors that affect my decision. The first reason, which is the biggest reason by far, is a better training environment. Not only I quit my job, but I also moved across the country from Baltimore to San Diego. I decided to move to San Diego because in August, I met a legendary coach, Jeremy Fisher, in his summer camp. I told him I'm still pursuing my dream as a world-class high jumper, and it would be great if I can work with him from time to time. Then he mentioned instead of coming out to San Diego once in a while, I should just come to San Diego full-time to train with him. At the time, I thought he was joking, but later on, we found out we were both serious about it. I cannot pass on this golden opportunity, right? So I made up my mind a week later to put in my resignation letter to Johns Hopkins. Having a podium level coach in person is not the only thing that makes training better. Most of my training partners now are Olympic caliber athletes. Some of them I went to watch their jump in top meets like the World Championship. In comparison, the closest resemblance to a training partner I had in Hopkins were the college athletes that I was coaching. Besides better coaching and training partners, being able to make high jump my top priorities every day is also tremendously helpful to becoming a world-class athlete. When I was at Hopkins, no matter how hard I try balancing training and working, I still have duty I'm bound to. Teaching, research meetings, catching up with deadlines. Not that I couldn't do them and train at the same time, but sometimes I just need to be at a place and time instead of at the track. Now I'm working fewer hours as a freelancer. I can make sure my day centers around high jump. If something is not optimal for high jump, I'm punting it to the shadow realm immediately. The next reason is more why I moved away from Hopkins, or more precisely academia. The original reason why I wanted to become a scientist was I wanted to do research and gain a deeper understanding of our universe. It was a lot of fun during my undergrad all the way up to my postdoc. I got to build code to understand stuff like binary black holes and the early universe, learning cutting-edge technology like AI, and I got to travel around the world for conferences and meet interesting people. And that was a lot of fun. However, everything changed once I became a professor. I was spending most of my time working on grant proposals, prepping for classes, and wrestling with admins, supervising students, stuff like that. I felt I didn't really learn that much other than how to work around rules and regulation, and I became much dumber every day compared to when I was a postdoc. That's not a good feeling. Also, as a junior faculty, I didn't really have that much academic freedom as promised. I kind of knew beforehand before I became a professor, but experiencing it firsthand hit differently. There are certain hot topics in the world and certain duties that makes you a popular kid in the department that, you kind of forced to do it. Not exactly, but if you choose otherwise, you're gonna end up in a worse position than you are. While I was on the AI hype train and my software engineering background put me in a good position for negotiation or collaboration in most circumstances, I couldn't help but feel I don't really care about any of that. I was doing those because they're beneficial to my career, but fundamentally, I don't care. It's not the thing that I signed up to do. I just have a bunch of questions that I want to answer, and I want to go on a journey to answer them. That's through literature research, think deeply about them, using math and science, and come up with a solution and experiment. That's what I wanted to do. I don't want to do all this mental gymnastics to convince myself that all these chores as a professor helps me in research, when it is not, when it is just clearly not. It is fair to say, in the end, professor is a job, and there are duties associated with a job. But it is kind of a false advertisement to say the job of a professor is anywhere close to research oriented, because I didn't get to do research. Maybe you can say, oh, that's just me, and I think there's some truth to that, but there's also truth to a lot of the daily task of a professor has nothing to do with research, and that is just not what I wanted. So, as some of my mentors said, it is more like a fancy janitor. Now I'm independent from all the academic shackles. I actually get to do what I'm interested in. I can read deep into topics I'm interested in, like quantum field theory, functional analysis, human anatomy. And I don't need to justify how those are gonna be important to the society or my promotion. I can spend time making tools and codes that help solving problems that I care, like bringing data science into high jump and rehab, instead of writing grants to ask for money to do that. My duty to my clients as a freelancer like myself are completely separate from my interest in research. In this sense, I have way more academic freedom than I was professor. Even after my high jump campaign, I just cannot see myself going back to the ivory tower called academia anymore. The final reason is a deeply personal one. There was this one afternoon that I remember vividly, around when I was 10. I was doing my homework at home at a table, and I made a goofy noise out of nowhere. It was like, hee hee. That's about it, out of nowhere for no reason. And then a train of revelation just hit me, and why did I just do that? Why am I doing homework here? What am I studying for? And a part of my brain, the reasonable one, went, oh, it's for getting into a good secondary school. Then what? Get into a good university? Then what? Get a good job? Then what? Build a nice family? And then what? Grow old and die. It struck me real hard that, man, is there no other way in my life other than this seemingly narrow pathway to a good life? I was shaken, but I was also too young to act on this, okay, what am I going to do now then? And I still have to finish my homework before my dad returned and beat me up if I haven't finished my homework. So I just went on with my life. It's not like my life went upside down since that moment. But that moment stuck with me, that I kept coming back to it. It's like, man, am I really into this? Is this really the path that I want to go? And I still frequently think about that from time to time. And later in high school, I found my interest in science that gave the spirits of my revelation earlier a body. One time, an alumni who just graduated from his PhD degree in chemistry came back to our high school to give a seminar. And he mentioned one thing that sent me into a frenzy that I want to become a scientist. He said one thing. Whenever I was doing research on the niche topics that I was working on, I feel like I'm standing at the frontier of human knowledge and doing something that no one else is doing. I was like, man, that's it. That's cool. That's what I want to do, to explore the unknowns in the universe and push the horizons of human knowledge. That feels like a pathway that it's not the same as everyone else. I really had a great decade of being a scientist, tracing the paths of people who came before me, and have built on top of what people have done. But as I progress in my career, the same revelation come back and start kicking in again. And it hit me hard again after I become a professor. And this time I can act on it. Then what? I asked myself. I'm gonna mentor these students. They're gonna be successful, so am I. I'm gonna be a big name in the field myself, slide into a permanent position, and become old and crazy at some point, and then die. No, I don't want that. That's not what I want. It feels once again, my paths are converging to a stable, clear pathway ahead of me. And there's something deep inside me that just hates the fact that my future seems to be determined already. Just tracing a path that is obvious. I want to go on an adventure. I want the unknown. And then I decided to give up this clear and stable path forward and pursue this seemingly chaotic and turbulent path of trying to jump higher. Now you may be thinking, but there are a lot of athletes before and their path is also somewhat similar. What's the difference? The difference is now I do not know the answer to the question. Then what? I genuinely don't. I don't know whether I'm going to be successful or not. I don't know whether I'm going to make it to the next Olympic or even jump higher. Maybe I get an injury in 3 months, who knows? But this genuine ignorance about the future somehow give me thrill. Whatever happened after my Olympic campaigns is for future Ks to figure out. When I was an undergrad, I cried over the fact that I'm giving up high jump to do physics, since I thought I would never be able to jump over 190 centimeter in high jump ever. This is the universe that I live in now. Like that, the high jumper case only made it to 185 and stopped, which was my freshman PR. And turns out that wasn't true. I became a postdoc, I picked up high jump again, and since then, I jumped over like 190 numerous times. The first time making it was exhilarating. And now my personal best is 2 meters, right? I could have never imagined doing that back then. I thought I was done, but turns out I was not. With the remaining youth I have, I want to give every last bit of me to see just how far I can go and how wrong the younger me was. So yeah, just want to give an update here, and I think it will be hilarious at some point to look back. Either it's gonna be the best decision I ever made in my life, or I could be kicking myself thinking, damn, what an idiot. Throw away my best years to pursue a pipe dream, live like a monk. And if you catch this video before my journey as a high jumper ends, stay tuned. It's gonna be fun. Who knows what to come next, and you can point finger and laugh at me at some point. Yeah, that's about it. So, yeah.